Hello, I'm Master Pete Thibado, and I started training in Taekwondo in 1976. A young man just returning or moving from Vietnam to the United States who had practiced Taekwondo in the military there introduced me to the art. And I was a senior in high school. So now it is 2011, it's 35 years that I've been practicing Taekwondo. And soon will be promoted to 8th degree black belt. These DVDs will be the testing requirements for all of the color belt levels and up to and including 1st degree black belt. This first DVD will cover the 9th GUP and 8th GUP requirements. Hopefully this will help you on your journey to becoming a black belt. The foundation of your Taekwondo training will be in these 5 basic stances. The very first stance is a tension stance. Heels together, feet 45 degrees, relaxed fists to the side with your elbows slightly bent. This is a tension stance. In Korean, it's chariot. The tension stance for the Korean military calls the student to come to attention, to hold this stance, also to pay attention. Because after this command is called, direction will be given for the next exercise. The second stance you'll need to learn is open parallel ready stance. Feet are shoulder width at the foot sword, and the foot swords are parallel. Relaxed fists come around in front of the belt knot. The elbows bent about 25 degrees. Relaxed shoulders, eyes straight ahead. Chunbi means ready position. This is the most basic ready position. There are many. The third stance is walking stance. Walking ready stance. Arms in the same position. Feet 1.5 shoulder widths in length. From the toes of the rear foot to the toes of the front foot in length, this way. The width of the stance is 1 shoulder width from the center of the foot to the center of the foot. The rear leg is facing outward no more than 25 degrees. Pointed forward as you see. The front knee is bent so that it forms a vertical line from the front of the knee to the back of the heel. Vertical line. Walking stance. When you're punching, full facing, a vertical line is formed with the end of the fist to the root of the toe. Half facing means that the shoulders and the hips are at 45 degrees. Full facing, hips and shoulders facing the front. Walking stance. The fourth stance is called L stance. L stance, like the letter L, we begin with our heels together at 90 degrees. Move the front foot out, 1.5 shoulder widths. Pivot the front foot on the ball of the foot so the heel moves out about 1 inch. Pivot the back heel out 1 inch. Adjust the weight so that 70% of the weight is on the rear leg. If you drew a vertical line from the hip, it should drop down just inside the rear knee joint. From here, just inside the knee joint. 70% of the weight, the rear leg, 30% on the front in a guarding position. L stance is always half facing. So if the direction of my stance is to letter D, my hips and shoulders are facing AD. L stance. But the fifth stance, sitting stance, is 1.5 shoulder widths from the inside of the foot to the inside of the other foot. Knees bent and pushed out over the feet. Sitting stance. Next, we'll do 4-direction punch and 4-direction block. The movements that make up 4-direction punch and 4-direction block will be 4-fist punch, low block with the forearm, and middle side block with the inner forearm. All done in walking stance. Punching should be on the center line of the body. Also, fist with a vertical line at the root of the toe. Full facing. Low block with the forearm, hips half facing. The cross with the block starts at the chest level, comes straight down to the low side abdomen in this line. Low block knife hand is done with the knife hand. The block begins at the side abdomen and comes across the body this way. Hand opening in the last 6 inches. Again, half facing. And the final movement in these 2 exercises, middle side block, inner forearm. All side blocks are half facing. This is middle side block with the inner forearm. The cross for this block starts the blocking tool outside. Both palms are facing away. Both hands rotate. Middle side block, inner forearm. Let me explain these 2 basic crosses as you'll find them in every cross for all the patterns from this point. Low block is with the outer forearm, or the knife hand is also on the outer forearm. So the cross begins on the inside with your wrists back to back. Both hands rotate. Same cross for knife hand or outer forearm. When you're blocking with the inner forearm, the non-blocking hand still rotates to the hip. The blocking hand starts on the outside and rotates across the body. Four-direction punch. Saju Jurigi. Four-direction block, Saju Monkey. Three-step sparring alone. This is the most basic level of step sparring. It's just the format for the next 3 levels of three-step sparring, which are coming on the next DVDs. Kicks for the white belt level. 2 kicks, front snap kick and side front snap kick. The only difference between the two is the facing of the hips. So front snap kick is done from a parallel stance or from a walking stance. Both cases, the hips are full facing. Side front snap kick is done from L stance. Front snap kick from parallel stance. The knee should come up as high as possible. The foot extends with the toes pulled upward or pulled back and the foot extended flat. The attacking tool is the ball of the foot. The leg must also retract, as you saw. So from parallel stance, front snap kick should look like this. From walking stance, rear leg kicking, the hips still remain full facing. Front snap kick. Lead leg front snap kick in walking stance. Same idea, hips remain full facing. And stepping with the lead leg will look like this. Step with the right leg and kick with the left. The purpose for lead leg, rear leg, and stepping motion has to do with the distance from your opponent. If your opponent is near, lead leg. If they're a little farther away, rear leg. And yet farther away, stepping motion. From this level on, each of the new kicks that you learn, you'll be required to know them lead leg, rear leg, and stepping motion. The Hosenstuhl requirements, or self-defense requirements for this level, have to do with releases, basic releases, from a grab to the wrist in a straight grab or cross grab or lapel grab. So we'll go through these and demonstrate with these two green belts. Mr. Lira and Mr. Kreider. If it's the same side, this is called a straight grab. Mr. Kreider grab, Mr. Lira. To release from a straight grab, Ben is going to step in with his leg on the same side. Step in with the leg the same side. And then put his elbow on the elbow of his attacker. When he does that, his wrist pops out and he can get away this way. One more time. Back grab onto Ben and release. And step in, release, and pull away. Very good. A cross grab is when you go across the body. This way. Stay here. So across the body, when the cross grab is done, Ben will step in with the opposite leg. So this foot, step forward. He'll turn his arm, bend your knees, and turn his arm this way. So that he has his knife hand on the back forearm of his attacker. The other hand will come to the elbow joint. He'll push the hand straight in and slide his hand this way. One more time, Ben. Move a little closer. Let's right about here. Good. Grab on cross grab, same grab. Step in with your opposite foot and bring your arm inside. Bend your knees. Okay. Common problem, they won't bend their knees and they're cooperating too much. So, time to step in and put a little grip on it. All right, Ben. So I grab onto him, step in with the opposite foot, and turn your arm to the outside. Oh, it doesn't move, huh? So you have to bend your knees. Bend your knees so you can lower your body. Now you can turn your hand without having to lift it. As you do that, then you can slide it out. Even with a big person, instead of trying to move their arm, you can bend your knees and move around the grab. Okay? Very good. Now, twin lapel grab. So you're going to grab him by the collar this way. Ben, I want you to take your right arm and put it down in between his arms. And then grab on with your other hand to your own fist and twist your arms this way. One more time, grab his lapel. Use your whole body, Ben. Bend your knees and turn your whole body. There you go. Good. Always gotta move in, bend your knees, use your hips for the releases. Can't do it just with your arms. All right, very good. Face each other. Chariot, can you? Come on, Samita, shake hands.
Come on, Samita.
Chungji is the first pattern, and there are 19 moves. So I'll demonstrate Chungji for you. The meaning of the belt color at this level, white belt, represents innocence. Your lack of knowledge of Taekwondo, you're just beginning on this journey. As you begin this journey and gather some knowledge, the yellow belt represents that seed of knowledge that you're gaining as you're beginning to grow as a student of Taekwondo. Chungji means heaven and earth. It represents the beginning, just like the beginning of time. That's all there was, is heaven and earth. So it's representing that what comes in after that is man, or us, as a Taekwondo student. There are 19 moves in Chungji, and the diagram is a plus sign. The plus sign is a symbol which is represented in many cultures, but it's in this case representing heaven and earth. Chungji tool. Chungji. Okay. The new kick at this level is side piercing kick. Side piercing kick, the tool is with the foot sword. The foot sword is this outside edge of the foot. In the foot position, as if you're standing on the outside edge of your foot. Toes and ankle pulled all the way back for the foot position. And the tool should rotate as it extends. So if I'm in a bending ready stance here and I begin to extend my kick, my knee drops, my hips rotate, my supporting foot also rotates as I extend the kick and lock it out. Heel should be higher than the toes. The retraction is with the knee down. Side piercing kick should rotate. It actually has the same name in Korean as punch. The punch is called juregi. The side piercing kick is called juregi. This twisting motion of the punch is very similar to the twisting motion of the side kick. With the rear leg, the knee comes high, begins to rotate as the hip rotates and extends, the knee retracts. In a stepping motion, the step should come from in front so that the hip has the ability to rotate. Regular speed. Notice the breath and the extension of the leg and the extension of the supporting knee all happens at the same time. Watch in slow motion. Knee is bent. As the kick extends, the supporting leg straightens, and the breath tightens. The retraction, the supporting leg bends, stepping forward with balance. Regular speed. Thank you. 3-step sparring basic. Très, cogné. You'll attack first.
Okay.
Just step left foot to chimney, your left foot. So please measure again, both from attention, measure. When you step back, your left foot goes to chimney.
Okay. Yep.
Hello? Good. Reline up, come to attention, and now you'll measure.
Yep. Yep.
Let's start that again. Come back to here. You'll measure with your right foot.
Yep.
Step left to chimney. Just one attack at a time. Begin. Okay, so your toes are still right where you measure. A nice long walking stance. Shoulders square. Half facing. Next move. Begin.
Yep.
Your foot should be on the inside this time. Good walking stance. Whoops. Adjust your back foot to a good walking stance. Full facing. Bend your front knee. Half facing. Good. Next move.
Yep. Yep.
Come on, Paro. Back to chimney. All right, good job. Face each other. Cogné. And bow. 3-step sparring basic. What you've just seen is an example of typical mistakes in 3-step sparring basic. You want to measure the proper distance and maintain the distance in the 3 steps. Even though they were different size, that's a common problem. So just be sure that the attacker is full facing, the defender is half facing, and they understand that if they step outside, inside, outside, they'll maintain alignment. Their hand and foot as attacker, hand and foot as the blocker, all finishing together at the same time is very important in the development of understanding not only timing with their own body, but with a partner. So these are the key elements in 3-step sparring basic that we need to pay attention to. Not so much power. The reverse punch is about a foot away. They don't need to come close for the attack. The idea is they're working on timing and balance with their opponent and proper distance for blocking. Thank you. I'm Master Pete Thibado, and I'm a 7th degree black belt. I've been training in Taekwondo since 1975. I'll be promoted sometime this year to 8th degree black belt. I was thinking about dropping some weight. I was about 205. I was 180, 15 years ago. Well, actually 20 years ago. And I was fighting full contact at about 178. My wife and I both did the reset. I went from 205 down to like 185. My wife lost about 12 pounds. Other black belt lost like 30 pounds. Amazing. That's first of the year. Today is April 2nd. In the preparation for that test, and I had been working out really hard, and a couple times a week when I go home I'd have severe muscle cramps. Our friend recommended that I try a handful of the health pack. So that week that I tried the health pack, I didn't have any muscle cramps. It was great. Damn, the supplements worked. I'm hooked. Ever since I've been on them, the muscle cramps went away. The difference that I've noticed in taking the health pack twice a day is the clarity of my mind, the endurance, the level of tiredness at the end of the day. My flexibility is better. I'm with kids most of the day. A lot of them are sick all the time. I never get sick.